This is dinner tonight, so the salmon and broccoli bake. I've got a nice half sort of side of salmon here. We were discussing this earlier in the members live, about the salmon to get a hold of. Obviously I've got the whole side and I'm going to take the skin off. However, you normally buy it in the sort of like the fillets. You better get in this end rather than the tail end to get the skin off. It's much easier. This is thinner and it's a bit more difficult to get the skin off there, whereas this is a much thicker end and it'll come off really easy. I'm going to cut it as if you'd bought a couple of fillets. I'm just going to get into underneath. Just want to nick the skin at the bottom there. There it is. And it will just pull off. You can leave the skin on if you want. Don't throw it away. We're going to use that for broccoli rice at some point later in the week. I'm going to cut these broccoli stalks down, or broccoli florets down into smaller bite-sized pieces. We're going to cook everything in there.
Right.
And then we're going to transfer it into a dish to go into the oven with the cheese on top. Or it'll go into the Ninja. So effectively you're going to boil the broccoli, slowly cook the broccoli in the milk. There you go. That's what the recipe calls for, 200 grams. So I'll save that little bit there for Louis. Yeah, allow them to simmer. It's just starting to come to the simmer now. You can just about see it in the camera. There you go. So there are bubbles appearing now in the middle of there. So we just want to sort of let it gently cook. We don't want to burn or boil the milk away. So I'm actually going to cover it because I'm using a wider pan so you can be able to see it. If I use the deep pan, you'd see nothing. So. Right, so salmon in on top. The salmon literally starts to turn colour straight away.
Oh yeah.
So it's gone from that deep pink to a pale pink as soon as it hits the heat. I'm not necessarily trying to cook it too much in here. I'm just getting it sort of in with the milk and actually sort of get some of the flavour. So the broccoli's still quite crunchy as well, so that's not going to be in there for much longer now. About half a teaspoon. We have to have a bit of garlic powder in there, yes?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And without doubt, some salt and pepper. Yes, tarragon would also be nice. Although I don't think Ella would like tarragon. Right. And the last thing before I transfer it, what do we need? 60 grams. There we go. Yum. Right, I'm just going to boil this down just a little bit more. Just get rid of some of the... it's thickened up a little bit because of the mascarpone. I'm just going to reduce it just a little bit more. We'll have the rest of that. So we did... so the label's been pulled all the way off. So I couldn't get Manchego last week, so I picked up this one, and we were trying to pronounce it on Wednesday, I think it was, and it's Cinco Lanzas.
Now everyone's going to tell you it's not.
Yeah, so. I'll just use the same pan for the sprouts in a
I
minute.
wonder if you could thicken it with a little bit of arrowroot.
You could if you wanted.
Like Sandy's bechamel sauce.
Yeah, you could. But because it's going in the oven, it's going to lose a bit more moisture anyway.
Alison says mine's a bit liquid still.
Yeah, just either reduce it down or, as Ella said, whack a little bit of arrowroot in. Right, I know you... that's hot. You can't properly see that, but yes, it's got a sort of like a sauce at the bottom. But because I'm going to put it in the oven, it will dry out a little bit more. So this shows how taste buds change when you sort of, I don't know, when you change your lifestyles, sort of following. I don't know what it is, but these little green things I used to hate them, absolutely detest them, but I found out why. My parents, actually no, I'll rephrase that, my mother used to think that these things needed to go on to boil. We only used to have them once a year, obviously, Christmas, but they'd go on to boil about December the 20th. And they would stay on boil for the next God knows how many days. So when you finally got to eat them, they were just horrible. I then realised, it took me years to realise this, that they don't need boiling for an hour or two. They can actually be pan fried in just 10 minutes.
No, they're just like a cabbage.
They're a baby cabbage. So why would you boil the bejesus out of them? 5 grams of carbs per 100. I'm using the nice salted butter to pan fry them in. Oh, should have put that in first actually. Okay. I'd already sort of prepped them, so I've already sort of sliced them in half. Butter, garlic, sprouts. Fry on a medium heat with a lid on. 10 minutes, done. Beautiful. They are still crunchy, but they are cooked.
They are not boiled to death.
Note to mother.
Wow, look at that.
Right, so we'll try. So it has still got a sauce to it,